Hey, I wanted to make a video about other things, but I can make your video. You want me to? Huh? Oh, what a loving boy. Oh, he's so cute. This here is my foster cat, Tucker, and it looks like I'm turning this video into his introduction. Oh, hi. Hi, that's my booby. Hello, Munchkins. It's Munchie here, your chaotic good of the internet. I'm really going with that. I really like that. Whoever suggested that. I want to say this too. This person actually said for me, I was the chaotic good, and they listed a bunch of other YouTubers and they went down the list, which I think is totally awesome. I do like that now, chaotic good. But welcome on in. Today we're going to be learning about my newest foster cat. Well, technically, he's not new. He's actually been around for a while, but he has recently gotten a lot of inquiries and is hopefully, with crossing fingers, about to be adopted. Last year, you guys probably remember my introduction to Jazzy, my foster cat that I decided during the pandemic I would go and help out. And of course, we're in this situation again, where unfortunately there was a cat in need. I, with my achy breaky heart, reached out to the owner who was trying to rehome Tucker, and this is where we begin. So Tucker is a cat from Craigslist. He is the free to good home cat, which I absolutely hate when people list free to good homes because that increases the risk of one, them being rehomed to a pet abuser. Two, that could be rehomed to someone going to use the cat or animal as bait for dog fighting. Three, there is in specific areas, don't know about around here, but they take free to good home cats and they use in their labs without actually telling anybody. And four, the person that you're giving a free animal to may not be able to take care of the animal because you're giving them a free animal. They might not put a lot of money down for the animal and think that they could just run on bare minimum. It's just like you're putting $5 of gas in your gas tank and expecting that that would carry you for like miles and miles of terrain, which is completely false. And it's just one of those things where people wish that they could have more, but also want the thing right now, even though this situation may not be good. And I'm so glad I did get Tucker because Tucker is a special needs boy. So I saw the Craigslist ad for Tucker and his sister being rehomed, and without having the ad in front of me, once I find it on the computer, you guys can read it, but I believe the ad said somewhere that he was a 12-year-old senior boy cat, completely black, just like his sister, so I couldn't tell who was who in the photos. And they shared photos of these animals, with Tucker's picture being in the laundry room, where I was later told that's where he would usually stay. Never really coming out at all. But I learned that Tucker is a very friendly and vocal boy, and he is also very shy, and he has his quirks. Tucker, what are you doing? What you doing, Tuck? You like pillow comfort? Of course you like pillow comfort. Pillows are comforting. You gonna be in there forever? The owners were some senior folk, and when I was talking to the owner, he relayed his wife's information to me about Tucker. Turns out that when they gave me Tucker, it was 3 years since they last brought him to the vets. So at that time, he was not updated on any of his shots, and I've come to find out later he did not have a microchip. I found out that the owners had him since he was 8 weeks old with his sister, but for whatever reason, when I inquired to take in both cats, the sister was previously rehomed the day prior, and I felt like, well, why did they rehome them separate? Shouldn't they come together? Turns out Tucker might not have been so much so into his sister and was perfectly fine to separate them, which I think might be a good call considering how very, very reactive Tucker is to loud noises, to other animals, etc. But Tucker was friendly with the household dog, and I don't know what size dog it was. All I was told was it was just a dog, friendly with a dog. And so far, it seems like Tucker is totally okay with having my small dogs in the room, but he's not okay with having other cats, which he is now considered to be a no cat home. Cannot have him placed with other cats due to his very shy, very timid behavior, and other cats unfortunately have been trying to go after him because of his extremely submissive and timid nature. So Tucker is an only single cat that just wants your affection all the time. He was just left alone in the laundry room. So these senior couple just left him in there. They cared for him, but I had a feeling that there was something else going on because he has a very flighty reaction. And since this was his only home prior to him leaving this couple, we thought that maybe someone had medical issues or maybe someone was going to a retirement home. It is very possible. We didn't pry further because we didn't want to ask. But I did get the impression that these seniors that I talked to once I met them were very well off considering what car they were driving. But the guy was nice. However, I do want to make a note of this when I met him, and this is a really big pet peeve. I was wearing a mask, he was not. And that really bothered me because it's like, courtesy, man, courtesy. I don't want to get sick. I have people at home. Come on. It gave me an impression of what type of person they could have been without prying into him. So when I received Tucker, Tucker was so skinny. He was thin, he had muscle loss. He apparently, when we took him to the vets, when I finally was able to get a vet appointment, even though my vet appointment kept getting postponed and pushed and pushed and pushed, not by me, but by own vet office, then when we finally brought him in, he was diagnosed with having a UTI that he's had for I don't know how long, and it was pretty bad, so we had to make sure with another sample that within 2 weeks it was completely gone because it was just that bad. We wanted to make sure we nipped it in the butt, but he definitely was underweight for his size. He is also a thyroid boy. Yes, so he has thyroid disease and he has to be on medication for the rest of his life. Now, there's plenty of different options when it comes to cats with thyroids. There's radiation, there's the cream in the ear, I think, and there's also food and medication. Tucker did extremely well on poppin' pills. So we have a tiny little pill that half in the morning, half at night, and we use a pill gun or a pill popper, and it's completely done and fine. And with that, he regained his strength. He also began to be more active, which is great because if you are feeling sick, you're always sluggish. And with him, he lost so much body weight and mass and muscle that just a slight improvement, just like by a pound, like a month later or a couple weeks later, he rose by a pound. It's just wonderful to hear because with thyroid cats, they can be, as a symptom, underweight because of their disease. But for Tucker here, he gained weight pretty quickly. If I remember, he was around 8 pounds to maybe 9 pounds when we got him, and now he's at 11.5 pounds. So he's a big, long, lengthy boy, but he's also very lean. He's a lean boy, but he's still not at the comfort zone of which I want him to be. He's still got a lot of gaining weight and muscle mass to do. But he is a senior boy, and even though the ad did say that he was a 12-year-old cat, he apparently, from what his vet record said, was a 13-year-old cat instead. So his birthday's coming up here and he's about to be 14 years old. Like, oh my goodness. Tucker, where'd you go? He's back in the closet over there. I'm so glad we tackled this because if he went to anybody else besides me and they were not equipped or prepared to take on a medical need cat and a special needs cat at that, then he might have just been dumped again. So I really hate the concept of, hey, we're gonna do free to good home. And they did ask me a few questions. The wife asked me a few questions when I first inquired for him, but because of my knowledge, understanding, and how I was very coordinated and cooperative with them, they thought that I was like the best fit for him. And oh my gosh, I'm so glad. I'm so glad they gave me him because if he went somewhere else, I just knowing that like there's a possibility if I was not on Craigslist at that time looking for this boy that needed me, he could have gone to someone else and it could have been just him landing up dead or maybe in a shelter. I mean, like his weight was so severely impacted. All the animals, typically for larger animals, we get them checked out immediately to rule out any sort of problems, as well as we have to, because we have cats in the home, check for FIV and FELV to make sure that we do not spread anything that is very contagious and easy to get. And he was totally negative on that. So he was microchipped, he was given updated vaccines, he was checked out, he's on medication. He is not on a special diet. However, because he is such a big old boy, old softy, we have to have him on a specific cat food, and that is for cats 11 plus from Hill's Science Diet. Now, I don't really like Hill's necessarily. However, they are very great when it comes to targeting specific needs for animals. And unfortunately, I do have some UTI boys, and they have to be on their UTI food for the rest of their lives because one develops crystal and the other one got blocked at a very young age. He is partially feral. He grew up in a feral colony before one of our past friends got him from a friend who rescued him, brought him home, and he kind of became our clan here at the house. His name is Finn. But yeah, unfortunately, I do have some UTI boys, so they have to be on those foods. But I usually, for the rest of the cats, do wellness. I really do like wellness cat food. And they were originally on Canidae, but Canidae just went down the drain, so I was like, no, I'm not doing that. My dogs are on Canidae, but my cats are not. Although, I would say this, if you guys want to check out raw food, go for it, because someone's gonna leave a comment down below. Anyways, so Tucker is gonna be on Hill's Science Diet, and he's on dry and wet food. Now, dry food was given to him throughout the entire day. He had full access to it. Wet food was given to him at night, and once we got him all plumped up again, we kind of cut back on the wet food. So we gave him a can at night, and he was content and happy with it. And also the litter box started to smell better because, from my understanding, they had him on very disgusting, low quality dry kibble, which I think was Imes. Yeah, wasn't it Imes? It was either Purina or Imes, but they gave me Purina or Imes, and I absolutely hate that food. Low quality shit. So Tucker here is all ready and available for adoption to the right home. Tucker, even though he is a big softy boy and, surprisingly enough, a polydactyl cat, so he has extra toes, he needs someone that is going to be with him very frequently. We can't do a 9-to-5 job for him. We need someone who's going to be home. So Tucker is going to be for an adult-only home, and we want to make sure that the people are going to be around constantly. Tucker. He does not leave this room. Unfortunately, he absolutely screams bloody murder at you when you pick him up and bring him to a new room that he has never been in. He never wants to go and venture out. He always wants to be in the room. And that's probably why in his past home, he was only in the laundry room and he smelled heavily of laundry detergent, which is not very good. It was very overpowering because we got one of his beds that he used to sleep in all the time, but it was so drenched in fur. I was like, oh my gosh, do they ever clean it? But it turns out, no, my boy sheds a lot, like a lot. So we have his cat hairs just all sprinkled around the room here and collecting in different beds that he chooses. Right now, he's got like a little cat tree that he sleeps on top of in the closet, but sometimes you'll find him sleeping on the bed here. You can find him up on the table, which he should not be, but he actually likes it. But you don't really see him looking out the window. I've only caught him once looking out the window because it was snowing and it intrigued him. Other times he really did not want to look out that window. He was just so terrified of it. He is a very chatty boy. And when he wants attention, he will follow you. If you go to the bathroom, he will follow you and meow at you. If you go and you sit down on your computer table, he will meow at you and try to boop his head at you. And it's the cutest thing ever. And I just wish we can find him the right home, and hopefully the people will understand his needs. With him, every 6 months he needs to go back for blood work to make sure his thyroid count is correct. And that's something that people may or may not want to deal with. People think that maybe just $20 medication each month for his pills would be considered cheap or affordable, but if you really think about it, unfortunately you need to have a vet visit every 2 times a year, and that vet visit could be probably $50 for an exam, and then for blood work could range anywhere from $20 to maybe $40. I think it was about $40 or $50 for blood work for thyroid. Don't really have the medical paperwork in front of me to confirm that, but it starts to add up, and people just need to be dedicated to Tucker and not just abandon or leave him for long periods of time, because his friendliness and temperament kind of goes backwards in a sense, where if you're not constantly giving him love and affection, he will kind of recline back, and it's not a good thing. So we want to make sure that the person has a small home. Studio apartment's good, maybe a very tiny house. I mean, it's Seattle, we got really tiny homes everywhere, so I'm sure somebody with a tiny house and has a budget for his medical needs would be able to take him, and is in a quiet neighborhood and will spend a lot of time with him. So thank you guys so much for watching Tucker's introduction video. Hopefully he'll find the right person, but for now, he is kind of our cuddle buddy. He likes to lick us at night and boop us in the middle of the night while we are trying to sleep. He is so cute, but we really do hope we can find someone who really wants an affectionate love bug just like him, but can understand that if he needs a space, they will give it to him. So if you enjoyed today's video, hit like to show support, comment down below with anything you'd like to say, and subscribe if you're new here and would like to become a part of the Munchkin family and hear about interesting intake stories at Munchie's place. So thank you guys so much, and I'll see you around in the next video. Bye-bye!